Welcome one and all to the Gateway. To Stepping Through the Gateway. I am your humble Dungeon Master, Tormy. Before we get started, I would like to invite you to join us. The links are down below for our Discord, where we have this game and several others. We play most of the week long. There is one on Tuesday that is for people that pay into our Patreon. We have uh, a live play portion of our Discord that is forum based RP. You can engage in any of these different parts. All you have to do is join us, ask questions, and join in the games. That out of the way, I'm going to invite you to join us in leaving reality behind for a bit. We're gonna take a moment, close our eyes, descend into that darkness that separates reality from those wonderful, wonderful fantasies. We're going to focus on one that we are fairly familiar with in this game. We're going to descend through a tapestry-haired sky of different skylines, different times of day, just kind of doing their own thing, not paying attention to each other, through the clouds that are ignoring the skyline behind them. Down into the street of the Gateway, rushing through the river of people and creatures. Finding our way up that staircase that leads up to the room that we left our adventurers at. They had just come into the room, and with that, we know that some of you had started to scatter into your normal places, but here's where we pick it back up, where I leave it back in your hands, see what you're doing for before, during, and after your rest. Floor is yours.
Ari is going over his notes, committing some of the things he's learned recently to memory, and just all in all, kind of playing with some of his new toys.
Aside from anything that you needed to attune to, can you also roll me your D100 for the day? Since you're about to get into your resting period.
Yeah. It's 20. I always have difficulty telling these. If the line is under the little curve, is that a 9 or is it a 6?
If it,
Under the curve is a 6.
Yep.
Under the point is a 9.
So it's a 9. So 29.
Excellent. You're almost halfway there.
You get 1 panic point.
Wait, what?
He's
Ari gets a panic point. Okay, he
He-
immediately uses it and starts freaking out because he can't find his shit.
I just had it. Where'd it go? Ari, you're holding your quill with your trunk. I don't know where the quill go.
But yeah, so he's essentially just reading and committing all the new stuff to memory for when he may need it.
okay. Yep. Who else is doing something before bed other than, just gearing down and going into your own bed?
Lightfoot is actually scurrying around rather giddily around the tavern area, just kind of bumping things together and scraping things and just kind of finding little knick-knack noises. At some point through the night, you can see him in the corner just playing
Tavern.
spoons.
I
Or
think he's
Tavern.
talking. I think he's talking about by the curtain where he has his little workshop.
Oh, I was like, when did you go to the bar?
Is there a bar in this hotel?
No,
We haven't seen one.
there
That's
are
why I was very
stair-
confused.
there are 2 stairways and a central desk. That's it.
Now, you mentioned a gallery, an art gallery.
Yep.
That's kind of like the reception area, basically, right? I thought.
It
I thought
is.
it was just right off of it, but
There were no other
Where-
doors.
Wherever he
Mm-mm.
is, he's scraping things and bumping things, and at some point you can see him in the corner playing spoons with a
Alright, as
little
long-
clock, with a little
as long as
clock
he
that has
didn't
a bunch of buttons.
Sneak out all of a sudden, go drinking by himself.
Okay, considering that you've missed 2 of these, can you give me now 3 D100 rolls and tell me them either as a total or separately?
Right. I'll roll on D&D Beyond because I have to go inside to get my dice. Sounds like so much, but it's really only like 6 die. I've got a 39, a 59, and a 24 in that order.
It was
100
39, 59, and 29 or 24?
122
24.
total.
Thank you.
I also figured with rolling something like that, it would just be easier to let the phone do the calculation.
Fair. So we have our 2 bards, what they're doing. Biren said that he is heading off to bed and trancing first and doing his stuff in the morning.
Adraxon will do his normal thing before
Okay.
sleeping. But I figured I'd let everybody else do their thing so that I'm not holding a bunch of people up.
That is fair. Um, since let's see, we still have Deshani. Does Guy? I'm gonna have to put things up for Kriv and Balon.
I have a question in regards to the making of the mutagens. Is it something I have to do before rest or after?
The That's not the right one. The way that they generally explain it, it just says that it has to be done during a long rest, so you can do it either before bed or after bed. There is the thought process that things that are alchemic in nature need time to sit or cook or cure. So you could do it either way.
Okay, I'm guy's going to go ahead and set up his little alchemy set and make a mobility mutagen.
Okay. If you could do me the favor of rolling 1d100 for me.
So it's known for all the audience and the other players that have joined. Uh, any anything that Lightfoot creates, he does in his own specialized little room. Seeing how
There's
it
a
has to do
little
with
curtain in
schoolwork.
the corner that seems to block out all sound.
Got an 80.
80. Excellent.
Excellent.
So it's pretty much he goes behind the curtain, comes out with funny stuff to work with.
We
Hey,
gate
Jeff.
up Balon. You haven't really missed very much. We did the reintroduction for where we came or where we left off last week, and people are describing their pre-sleep or post-sleep what they're doing to A, rest, and B, prepare for this journey that you're about to go on.
Okay. Can I get you to say all that again? Because I legit didn't hear the first half of it while I was getting my stuff situated.
You haven't really missed anything. We're just picking up where we left off, where you guys just went into the room to rest. And some people are doing things, and some people are just going to rest before and then going to do things when they wake up. And then
Yes.
there's the Shawnee that's just going to stare at all of you and try and figure out why she doesn't kill you. I mean, why you're all friends. I mean,
partially.
so
Right.
are you doing anything specific?
Who?
Anybody who hasn't gone yet?
Well, Dashani pretty much would have waited for everyone to get to their rest points, chill points where she can gauge them out. So I don't know if you want to wait or you want to go.
Well, Balon's just trying to outweight Dashani.
What do you mean?
That's not going to happen. She doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
We can do mine real quick if you want.
Yeah. I'm just
So-
real quick double checking if anybody is missing the specific feat that I told you all to take a couple of sessions ago.
I probably am because I have been on my phone the last few times and I can't add feats, just add feats like that from my phone.
I believe I just added it for you. You were good.
All right, so let me refresh.
So we have dealt with Ari, we have set up with Kriv, we have done things, we have watched Lightfoot tinker around with just small things as he's trying to make a soundboard work. Biren has gone straight to bed.
Guy is working on potions.
Guy's working on potions. Kriv has
Good
not
job.
done anything. That leaves Dashani, Adraxan, and Balon.
So do you want to do them or do you want me to pop in?
Get mine out of the way real quick. It's pretty simple. So, Adraxan's going to walk over to the bed, teleport out of the suit of armor,
Mm-hmm.
leaving it standing against the wall, and then take his spot in his bed and meditate like he usually does.
Who does
As
Guy
you're
you to get a curtain? I don't want to see that again.
Hmm?
I want a privacy curtain.
Well, the room gives you whatever you need, so it'd probably immediately appear.
Why
It
would you need a
appears the next
privacy
time.
curtain?
He doesn't want you to see you suddenly appear outside of your armor as if it was your skin.
Oh,
I don't
I'd
want
say
to imagine that, but thank you for that
That's
image
the
in my
first time
brain.
he's seen you take your skin off. He's never seen you out of your suit, so it freaked him out a little. Okay.
He's like, that's not normal.
well, he's seen him
So
without the helmet. He knows it's not. He's not a robot.
Jackson puts each sense away one by one, descending into that place that he's become so familiar with. What is his intent while he goes in?
Last time he focused on before he's focused on those within the room with him, getting a
Mhm.
feel for them. Last time he sensed out further and was able to connect with those that he's had interactions with within the gateway. This time he wants to push a bit further and see if in this void of infinite possibilities if he can make a connection to his grandfather.
You reach out. Give me an insight check.
Insight. Okay. 21.
This place of lacking continues. And for the first time, you feel pressure. Not as something trying to crush you, but something to try and keep you. You feel as if there is a boundary that you are trying to press across. A strange feeling, definitely, considering that you don't feel as if you have a physical body here. So how could you feel this pressure? Especially when you can't sense yourself.
That's an interesting concept. Well, getting that sensation or feeling or whatever you want to call it, and him not knowing enough of this area, this place, he's not going to push past it.
Okay.
Not without a bit more intel, but he doesn't have time for that at the moment. So, um, given what they're going to be facing, he is going to pull out of that spot
Yeah,
completely.
pull out.
You remember, sir, we're being recorded. Behave yourself.
Hey, dirty jokes are all right.
But he's going to come back to normal meditation and spend about an hour in that, just letting everything kind of just fall into place and relax.
Okay.
And then he'll go into his trance for the night afterwards.
Go ahead and give me that D100 roll.
What does 3 zeros mean?
That's 100.
Yeah.
Oh, at least you can't roll a 0, I guess.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's 1 to 100. Okay. A Jackson is out. That means we have Deshani and we have Balon.
Go ahead, Balon.
Balon's crashed.
Okay. He goes off to bed, and we will cover his thing in the morning then. Deshani. Most of your
Uh,
companions have gone to bed. You have seen Adraxin go to his very calm place that you've seen every time. And then he comes back up a little bit more rigid and then into his normal restful position.
hmm
Doesn't seem as taxed as the past few times that he's tried to do more than just rest.
All
What are
right.
you doing with your time?
She's gonna, do the whole bathe, get her stuff together, whatever, while people are resting, and then she'll sit and tap in to each of them to gauge mentally where they are, emotionally where they are, but also try to get a physical feel. Are they wound down? Is there any like exhaustion or fatigue or injury, anything along those lines on top of the mental, emotional?
Similar to yesterday, other than the two oddities, things are very similar. There is a thin layer of nervousness and excitement stretched across each of them. But the same feelings as before. There are two here that you've never watched as they've rested.
Yeah, I'll pay a little extra attention there because obviously they've just had a whole lot of shit shaken up on them. So,
Guy and Squawk are somewhat entangled. The lizard-like bird or bird-like lizard, you're not really sure. It is entangled with its head over his shoulder, and he's got one arm over it, clutching like a teddy bear.
Taco.
While there is it's not a fear, there's a light worry of what he left behind. But there is like a child set free in a theme park. There is an endless wonder that has grabbed him since he has come here, since you have started talking to him and walking him around. Since he's appeared in a place where the sky is so varied. And, well,
A much bigger version of what Lightfoot was the first day you met him.
and then there's Kriv. There's more worry about his herd, those that he traveled with, those that he there's worry about those that are not with him anymore. Whether that was those that were left in safety or those that he believes are worse off. But it's hand in hand with the want to do more, the want to do the right thing for the right amount of coin. Well, knowing here, coin's not the right word, for the right amount of payment. There's a sense of cold about him that gives you a bit of a shiver, but it is not. It's somehow neither emotion nor temperature that brings the shiver down your spine.
Tormy, I want to make a quick comment over the table here. Literally, the moment you started to say shiver, I had a cold sore shiver. Don't do that.
So,
I seem to have that effect.
um, to take it a tiny bit further, not something she's done before. She's gonna try to connect to ease some of the worry.
You let some of your essence transverse the distance between you. Not physically crossing the space, but allowing some of your being at ease, some of your centering. You let that cross the distance. They may not be conscious and able to really sense what's going on, but you do. Can you roll me your D100?
Yep. 78.
Congratulations. I need a moment.
I will pull up my shit.
Rolling in just for world building and flavor text. Before going to bed, Lightfoot would have cleanly gathered up his stuff and enjoyed a nice little nightcap of the bottle of special wine that he had gotten at the very beginning of his adventure here. Well, before his adventure in this new world, as he kind of reminisces of home. Thinking of all the adventurous tales he's gonna have if he ever finds them again. The tales of many battles won, friends made. That's his
He
little
finds
tale.
them, they've all aged like 700 years.
Right. Like, fucking, he's become a myth to them. Like, I hear Lightfoot one time stepped through a rip in time and was never seen from again.
He comes back, it's been a year. They're all like 70 years older.
He comes back, everybody's goatee is much longer. He's now, like I said, he's now considered as a myth. He stepped away from the circus life and never came back. So now anybody who joins the circus never leaves the circus out of fear of disappearing.
New
The
phone, who
circus
dat?
The circus has grown to become the main economy in the Feywild now.
New phone, who dis?
Before he actively truly calls it a night and goes to sleep, he does dabble on his soundboard, kind of getting some music set up with the sounds that he's managed to gather. He's making redneck techno in D&D.
Lots of
Wait.
banjos.
Don't wake up Squawks. All of a sudden you're getting pecked in the head.
Oh, that's what the great thing about his curtain. Completely soundproof. That's why he's able to make his potions. He's able to on his bagpipes without disturbing anybody.
He's going to wake up one morning, and find his soundboard and bagpipes incinerated.
I can see how I'm picturing it is pretty much going to be one of those, he jumps in as the main distraction, while everybody's hidden and everything. He just starts busting out in song and dance in the background while the rest of the party just starts beating the meat off of whatever they're fighting.
No, thank you.
As I just had Must Move start playing in my head.
Phrasing.
Gingy,
Uh,
yeah. Just shut up now. Leave it at that.
Getting Gingy
Deb
to
wasn't
shut up.
here.
Getting
Jeb
Gingy
wasn't
to
here.
shut up
That
is
was
a
my goal.
very difficult task.
Damn near impossible, some may say.
I
And
can concur with that.
Jeb wasn't here for what? Serb?
The night that Baron started stealing all of his instruments
Yeah.
He
and
got
hiding them
very
from him.
sad.
Yeah, he got-
Balon will make a deal with Biren. Biren steals them. Balon sets them on fire.
Lightfoot
And then
got
and then
panicked.
Biren can piss on the ashes when they're done.
That's a good way to get
Ah,
a
you
very
guys are
pissed off
freaking
goat man.
salty today.
Right, that's a way to get a very pissed off goat man.
I never asked Draxon to roll his 100.
Yeah, you did. I
I
got
did?
100.
Yeah,
That's right. That's
3 zeros.
Yep. You're good. I was wondering why the second 2 spaces didn't change. So we go through the first half, and that's how all of that runs. Some of you only rest for 4 hours. So those of you who are waking up earlier, what are you doing with your time? While others are still resting.
Baron will start his normal morning routine.
Is he doing anything special other than cleaning himself, cleaning his clothes?
76 on the potion regeneration.
Good.
There, after he finishes taking his bath and getting ready, Dashani.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with me and run over to Bundo real quick?
You can. Hold on. Can I just check something before we?
I was gonna kind of try.
I don't know. Can you check it?
Fight me.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Some.
Even English teachers don't like saying that often.
The potion thing. The potion balls that hold potions.
Mm-hmm.
How long do they hold the potions for? I'm trying to find them on my sheet and.
Potions? I don't
Oh, here
remember.
it is.
I
Ball of
believe
spell scoring.
I believe that is 1 day per spell level. Or spell slot level that you're putting into it.
Oh yeah, that. And I am back at 3.
It's just the points. So whatever gets stored in there stays in there.
Correct.
Okay. So before she actually goes into like figuring out people's emotions and whatnot, she's gonna store a couple of spells. Remove curse spells.
Okay.
And I gotta figure out how I'm going to track this.
Oh, and since you are a warlock, that means these are all 4th levels. So they
Yep.
last 4 days.
No, it doesn't say that. I was just looking at it. It's just I go up to 100 points and then I'm done. But it doesn't say that it
Which
expires. The crystal ball of spell storing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I thought you were saying the bottles, the arrowheads.
No. And I had 3 spells in there already, but I can't remember where I wrote them, so I gotta find that. But I will note that I put 2 curse spells.
It's those or the crystal ball is specifically just it maintains the amount of points that can be transferred back and forth. It's not specific spells. The specific spells
Oh.
are the arrowheads. That's where I was confused.
Oh.
Okay.
But the nice thing is because you don't technically need long rests except to regain hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
You can just be taking 8 short rests.
Okay, Tormy, it's created.
Excellent.
So basically, instead of the
Oh, right. Duh.
so I can replenish the 8 spell slots right now, is what you're saying.
you could do it 8 times.
You have 2 spell slots. You can
Mhm.
do 2 spell slots 8 times. That is 8 times 8 is you would add
Oh,
64.
so I'm gonna go ahead and just replenish everything into the spell, so puts it back at 100.
Yep. Refresh your card or your sheet. You have a new feature.
Okay. So 12, and I'm gonna put 64 in. That puts me at 76, actually. Okay. All right.
And I thought for time's sake we could Biren and Dashani run over to Bundo so that Biren can replenish his stock of ballista bolts and arbalest bolts. 10 ballista bolts and 26 arbalest bolts. Yeah,
Thought your stock was replenished when you got the new stuff.
that
Okay,
was
that's what too.
That was
that
all
was
the arrows.
just the stuff that came from Smith and Weston.
Ah, okay.
But he'll snag a Draxon's pouch with the handle and chalk in it and run over there and do that.
between your just practiced run, you can make it there in 20 minutes, and then you can do your thing and probably come back in another 20 minutes. So you should be back within an hour, unless you are really pushing his general limits.
No.
With that, how much of what are you bringing with you for payment so that you don't
Well,
just
I figured I figured I would just take a Draxon's pouch and whatever it costs out of what's in there.
remember Bundo doesn't have a wall himself to work that on.
We did it before.
Ooh.
You did it on somebody's ship side and they were cool with it. He doesn't have his own wall.
Is there a wall right next to him?
There when you get there, he has moved his stage made of crates further down. He's actually 2 other intersections down on the magic side. You spot him, and there are several buildings that do have open wall space. There is what looks to be a ship that is flat on the bottom on one side, and there's a he is still doing his spiel to a trio of dwarves that one has a pink beard, one has a purple beard, and one is they just have scorch marks here and a mohawk. And he's doing his spiel with them. They are making a trade back and forth. They are handing off a bunch of ore, and he is producing a ridiculous amount of mining equipment. And it takes about 5 minutes for them to conclude their business from where you're when you arrive. And you see him rise from being down on one knee to be able to do business with them. Rises, gives them a over paraded wave, and don't forget to come back. You're always going to find a smoke. They are gone before he comes back online. Deal with Bundo the Great. Fast little buggers. Who else needs... He turns and finds that you are at the other end of his stage.
Hey Bundo,
Yeah.
I need 10 ballista bolts and 26 arbalest bolts.
These can all be done. What do you have for trade?
I know I have some black mithril.
That is incredibly rare.
How much of it would it cost me to get those?
Just standard ballista bolts and arbalest bolts?
Yeah.
1 pound.
He'll go in and pull out a pound of it. As much as we've spent. Oh, that was, yeah. And he'll give him the pound of black mithril.
He takes the clump, lifts his hat like the most disturbing Pez dispenser, puts it in, and closes the hat. Darker smoke starts billowing out of his stovepipe hat, and he pulls down that portion of his chest that has a conveyor, and out comes bolt after bolt after bolt.
Just tink, 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 tink.
Takes
tink.
about 3 minutes for after you've handed the thing over for him to produce all of what you needed, what you asked for at least.
Thanks, Bundo.
Always happy to be of service. If you have any more, or you're looking for anything else, I will be around. You'll know where to find me.
I always know where to find you, Bundo.
Safe journeys. Safe journeys. Safe journeys. Safe journeys. This goes on for 5 minutes before he goes back to vending to somebody else.
And we'll head back to the hotel.
So over the course of that has been about an hour. You guys get back to the hotel, and everybody is still in their beds or doing their light activities of the morning, and you now have your ballista bolts. You have taken a walk you have taken a walk under the stars, suns, and clouds. So you are pretty sure you've gotten some vitamin D from the sky.
Something from the sky. You're not sure if it's vitamin D or radiation, but you know you got something.
Vitamin X? I mean, vitamin D from the sky is radiation. We won't go there.
Semantics.
Yes. So you guys have returned maybe an hour after your return. Most of the rest start to stir. Those of you who didn't get things done, actually, first, Biren, please give me your D100 roll.
77.
You've doubled what you had. Okay. I'm going to run and see what that was, and I will be right back. People who are starting to stir with your morning activities, go ahead and role play for a little bit. I will be right back.
Guy's gonna find Orby and ask for some paper and a pencil. He wants to design some stuff for the next time they see Smith and Weston.
Who?
Ginny's character.
Oh.
Horby.
Uh,
No, he's
character
Lightfoot.
who?
Horby is Fish's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that jots down all the information, right? Or do I have
No.
it back?
No, that's
Ari does.
Oh, Lightfoot.
No,
No,
Ari.
Ari, the
Ari.
elephant, that'd be me. He's
Mhm.
the one who's constantly writing everything down because he's like, "Oh, it's all awesome."
Oh, I wrote elephant next to Horby's name. I wrote it down wrong. Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry about that. There was a cat in the kitchen and there was a crash. So
Oh,
Fun.
nothing
Corby-
broken, I hope.
no glass broken, one bent fork. I can deal with it.
Horby's the bull.
How did it? You know what? Never mind.
We have a minotaur, we have an
Mhm.
elephant, we have a goat,
Mhm.
and we have a bird.
Look,
And a
all I'm saying
celestial.
is if this place floods, we've only got a couple more animals to gather.
No, we only have one of each. You need two of each.
Ari reproduces
Yeah.
asexually. He's just gonna split.
He's going to clone himself via notes.
Exactly.
Lightfoot just doots on his flute and then reproduces via mitosis.
I have this horrible image in my head where you split most of the way and get stuck at the head.
One horn on
So-
each side.
God.
So Jackson would have spent an hour meditating, 4 hours in trance, so he'd be coming out as they're coming back.
Correct.
Okay.
Draxon.
Yeah.
This time when we go out, do I need to worry about blowing things up?
I'd say, to be completely honest, we're not sure what we're going up against, so better be prepared for everything.
Well, we just got back from seeing Bundo. I went and got more ballista bolts and arbalest bolts both.
I don't, depending on the situation, I don't think anything we're going to be fighting is going to be things that we want to risk bringing back with us.
Blow them up. Got it.
Yep, blow him up. And he gets up, he does his morning exercises, and then just to warm everything up, and then starts to get dressed with his gear and stuff.
Here's a question.
Hmm.
What colors did you wake up looking like?
Oh, he is still winter.
Okay. Figured it was important to know that.
It's
Yeah,
good.
Guy hasn't seen him change.
Yeah, Guy's only experienced
yeah.
him in winter yet, so but no, he's
Pale dude.
where he still has where he is, his mindset is focused, he's ready to go. He still has that innate worry and concern, shreds of fear, and that is what keeps the winter.
Okay.
But he grabs a fresh change of clothes, bathes, gets dressed, and then slips into the armor. Not teleporting this time, but effectively opening it up and putting it on.
So the only one who I haven't gotten an action from that will allow me to give you a D100 roll is Balon.
Are you muted, buddy?
Or did he fall asleep again?
I'm not muted.
Nope, he was
And
fine.
I plead the fifth to Serby's comment.
Uh-huh.
Might as well be an admission of guilt.
That 5 looks an awful lot like a couple of Z's.
Yep.
I was here. I was almost there. Um. Well,
Yawn.
where exactly are we at? Are we back in our normal resting place?
Yep.
You are currently in the hotel room that you all share.
And can we call it the room and, not the final resting place?
I didn't say final resting place. I said our normal resting place. But I do like final resting place.
Of course you do, you little necromancer.
Um, what? Because I literally cannot remember. How did we get back here from the highway?
Through the dock.
You came down over by the docks, did some trading over there, and then came back uh through a couple of different ways, being led by Bjorn, so that you could all get some good rest before uncertainty.
Into the unknown.
Tyler,
Ah,
shut up.
that wasn't me.
Tyler, shut up.
The elephant sits on the warlock necromancer person.
Just quit.
So, okay, I do not remember that at all. That must have been the night that I fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Balon, I guess, is just going to wake up, go downstairs, get the usual breakfast that he has been getting. He, as normal, sits off to the side, not really away from everybody else, but just far enough away that he's a little isolated
Antisocial.
and kind of antisocial. Like I said, he's not completely isolated, but just off to the side. Like I said, kind of antisocial.
There has been in the room a very small coffee table and a single chair pulled up that you find Balon has moved over to and is eating like a weirdly like Americanized version of an English breakfast. There is a muffin, some beans, and a small sandwich.
The room makes food too?
It's not great food, but it is food.
It is sustenance.
Oh, you mean like this? Ding!
Ring the Taco Bell.
Yeah, you don't get tacos, you get Taco Bell tacos.
And then immediately give it to Squawk. Because he knows they're not real tacos.
I was waiting for the chance to come over and ask you to ring the bell for it too. It's breakfast time.
Good lord.
I can
After
do it
Lightfoot,
once per hour.
after Lightfoot wakes up and pretty much does his morning stretch, he kind of just strums a light little tune as he sits waiting for everybody else to wake up on his lute. A, just a jaunty little tune to wake up to. Nothing intense.
Shawnee
The
doesn't sleep, so
the small twinkling music in the wind matches his tune and leaves a nice soft beat underneath it.
Lightfoot doesn't find his flute in the morning.
Not the flute
Mhm.
again.
And all of a sudden, Balon has a flute in his bag.
After strumming along for a little bit and kind of matching with the ambient tune, he kind of starts slowly just gathering up his stuff, just kind of sliding it together and with his hoof over towards his backpack. Realizes that there's no flute and immediately stops strumming and just starts at first casually just searching through his backpack, just as he's packing things away, guaranteeing everything's put away nicely. Seeing there is no flute in his backpack, he starts rummaging around in his bedding area.
Balon uses the flute for kindling in the fire.
Oh, let's not do that.
He slowly gets more and more frantic. As his usual joyful tone kind of slowly turns more gruntish as he starts cursing in deep speech.
We
And
hadn't
then
quite
guy
gotten.
asks the room for a new flute and walks it over and hands it to him.
We hadn't quite gotten a fireplace, but there are 2 chemistry sets that do have open flames.
And I was gonna say, Ari hearing the goat man curse in deep speech is just going to be, do I need to wash your mouth out? Ari speaks deep speech.
Just for speaking deep speech, you need to have your mouth washed out.
Right?
He kind of gets that child caught with his hand in the cookie jar look as his head shoots over towards the elephant. Oh, my bad. I didn't know any of y'all understood that.
Well, now that everybody is awake, we should probably go to Revolvers.
Let's go.
Actually, I'm going to do something first.
And Balon, can you please roll me that D100 for me?
Is that damn flute? I swear on the gods, I had it last night. I was just using it last night to brew up that potion I made.
I will be utterly shocked if you do not get it right now.
Rolls a solid 1.
Jeb.
What?
Roll D100.
I said 48.
We didn't hear you.
We did not
Did it
hear you.
confirm?
Congratulations. You have re-zeroed out. Give me a moment. I'm sending the thing so that it can be built and added to your sheet.
Yep, I've got my stuff up and ready. And then before we leave the room, I have one other thing I'm going to do.
There you go.
Got it. I'm gonna put it together real quick. Before they leave the room, Adraxon pulls a vial out of his bag and pops the top on it and takes a drink. And he's using the vial of far speech. And he's connecting to his grandfather.
We are coming, Papa.
Guy's gonna grab his mutagen and put it in a vial to put in his bag.
Okay.
Lightfoot has already gathered up his alchemical set in its nice little pouch that it came with after thoroughly cleaning everything as his morning routine. Still searching for his flute. In Sylvan, he makes a comment about, I'm gonna get my instruments enchanted or something, make them to where they always come back to me when I call. Make losing them a lot less possible.
Tormy, it's made.
Excellent.
Ari just again kind of looks at him and goes, well, maybe if you were more careful with your things, you wouldn't lose them.
Lightfoot's head snaps over with a slight stomp of his hoof. I had the damn thing in my backpack in a special pouch that I keep it in.
Well,
Someone
maybe.
has to have gotten in my bag.
Well,
Jeb,
maybe.
it- refresh your page. You have a new feat.
Maybe if you put it in your bag of holding, it wouldn't get lost.
I don't have one of those.
You should. We've gotten one for everybody in the party.
Oh, do we?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I did not know that.
So as he takes of this vial and connects to his grandfather, it's that sense of urgency. It comes through first, and then status update. We are heading towards you.
Good to hear from you. I look forward to seeing your face again.
Can you make it to the spot where Revolver's Gate enters the realm?
Not right now. I'm helping hold one of the wards from falling to them.
Can you
I
give
can't
me
leave them right now.
Can you give me a heading for when we get there, the quickest way to you?
Right north. There will be caves in the mountainside. You will have to descend. There are other things down here that are not affected, but are still their own little dangers. Once you find your way to the front gates, tell them that you are here on our behest, on my name.
Not a problem. We are bringing fresh food, water, and basic medicines. See you shortly. Stay strong.
I'm getting tired, but I will.
And he cuts the communication. Hits the pulls the helm over so the atmosphere activates. All right. Let's do this.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. To revolvers.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart
As we are leaving the room, Lightfoot would actively kind of huff at the misplacement of his flute. Kind of just resolve to, I guess I'll find it later. And he walks over to Guy, looking up to him. He pulls out a small vial from his backpack. In the vial, there is a green liquid. I'm only assuming I would get to choose the colors, Tormy, or do you have designated colors for these?
No, you can.
Okay. A rather green liquid that it appears to have what would only appear to be scales, but yet as you try to focus on one, it seems to just dissipate into the liquid. He hands it over to Guy and says, I've been kind of dabbling with some of my magical, some of my magics, kind of like how you do with your stuffs. I think I kind of got it down. As he hands it over to him, I think if you drink this, you'll be able to turn into a very powerful creature. As he hands over the table the potion of polymorph that he has. By drinking the potion, it'll cast polymorph at 4th level.
Thank you, new little friend. As long as I don't explode, I may need this.
Well, the last potion I made didn't make me explode, so I think I got a rough understanding of it.
Alright. Heading to revolvers.
You descend that stair that you've become so familiar with. You leave behind the relative calm and silence and into that absolute cacophony of sound, of life, of moving. And you disappear into the sea of people, and you make your way at a ridiculous speed all the way to revolvers. The cat just made a weird sound. Um, so you make it into those wondrous, silent halls of marbled stone, and for the first time that you've come into this place and set eyes on Revolver, he's not doing some weird activity to kill time. His hands are clasped in front of him, and he is just watching the door for you. As each of you come in, a small smile that kind of settles down into a dour look. He knows what this means. He knows that you're prepared to go through and that this is not an easy challenge that he's helping you go do. So, I'm gonna raise a glass to each of you right now for your bravery, for going out into this not knowing if you're gonna come back. After that, I'll give you your key over. You picked up 2 more already? And they're coming with you?
Yeah.
We seem to be good at that.
Can you make your keys out of black mithril?
Aye.
I'm gonna pull out the. Let me see if I've got it on me real quick. I do have some outside of the thing.
I was gonna say, did you remove the 1 pound that I used?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh, that's. Oh, there it is. I've got 10 pounds of black mithril outside of the.
One for each of them?
One for each of them, and then
1 pound. Black
And then-
Mithril's actually easier for this.
Perfect. And the rental keys so that they can go this time. We don't have to wait.
Question for the two of you that are new. What kind of little trinket would you like your permanent key to look like? Points to
Like-
the others that have their own.
Like to keep mine on my wrist, kind of like a gauntlet, if that's okay.
Wouldn't be a full gauntlet, more like a bracelet, but I can do it.
Shani just like holds up her ring. They're small.
There's a slight shift in the back of Adraxon's gauntleted hand, and a small compartment opens and it reveals the V trinket that he had made.
Ari holds up his little crystalline flute.
So, a bracelet is well enough done. I can do that. Are ya planning on taking the lizard chicken?
Mm, more than likely.
In my heart, yes.
It'll need its own key.
How about a ball and chain to go around its ankle?
You're gonna keep them from flying?
It doesn't have to be heavy. It's a trinket. An anklet would work.
Give him a talon ring.
Can do that as well. Then I get another half-pound.
I'll take off 2 pounds of what I had and give it to him. You can make use of the rest. You know, we don't mind. You've helped us out quite a bit.
You're about to go try and help a bunch of others, so
Well, what you put out always has a way of finding its way back around. One way or another.
I generally agree with that, but going to a lockdown planet is usually a large step for just about anyone. I don't do it anymore.
Well,
He, Bjorn is hidden under Deshani's wing at his mention of he doesn't even go there.
He's
Jackson.
going to extend her emotions out and calm him.
If you want to resist, you have to make a wisdom DC against her spell DC.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I mean, it's not horrible, but it's still only +4, so no. That's
You gotta beat an 18.
let's you said you wanted to raise a glass.
You see him pull the desk open, and he does a real quick head count again and pulls out. There's a single stem, but there is a small, like a shot glass worth of liquid in each of these tiny flutes that comes up like a candelabra. One of them for each of you. And it's, I'm gonna drink to you for luck. And when you get back, you'll all get some of the same. We'll celebrate then. This is me wishing you luck. And
Fair
not leaving you wasted on your way into a dangerous situation.
enough. Fair
And
enough.
you see him lift it up to about here and then start pouring, and they kind of cascade until each one of them is empty, and most of it got into his mouth.
Revolver,
Aye.
is this place a place that we can use our carriage?
Might be one of your safer places to rest. It's gonna be white. Most of the surface is wide open spaces. There's only a few real large cities there.
Beer
But I
walks over
believe,
and starts
bel-
setting up the carriage.
I believe that looks at Jackson. I believe that your grandfather's in the upper part of the underground in the
told me-
mountains.
Yeah, I spoke with him this morning. He told me he was in the due north from where we'll be dropping in at. Look for the caves in the mountains.
From what was discussed, beware everything on the surface.
Oh yeah.
If it's organic, it's at risk.
Fair enough. It's one of the reasons I had this designed.
He looks up and notices that a couple of you don't have those gloves or masks that you had discussed earlier, and he reaches in and just pulls up the sets that people need.
I think the only one who
Just-
doesn't have a set would be Kriv, because Guy got Adraxans. And
This just covers that problem.
and the bird. The bird might need one.
The bird is not given gloves, but there is a mask that is fashioned that is made of a very thick and still slightly furry leather.
All right.
Now the lizard chicken has fur on its face, because why not?
It's like FCG's flesh tongue.
I mean, it's more like he's replaced it. It's more like the cursed dwarf just replaced the beak with a beard. But yeah,
Now it's a dwarven bird.
I
and
have a bearded dragon chicken.
and he pulls up his
Bearded dragon. Nice.
he pulls up his token and offers it up to each of you. As you touch them one by one, you get the same sensation you've had before, but more intense. For those of you who haven't had this sensation before, it is similar to just that eureka moment of I figured out how to get there. I figured out the problem, and I have the answer. I haven't even been thinking about it, but I have the answer. There's a difference here. One, it's more intense, and two, it felt like there was a screen between you and that answer until it was released. You're able to get through, and as the knowledge sinks in and you understand which door you need to use, and as Biren is putting the wagon together and Revolver walks over to the door or over to the wall and heftily pulls it up, and there's that just that shimmering green surface behind the wall.
Draxon takes a
You
moment.
feel the screen feeling behind you instead of in front of you now.
Draxon's going to take a moment, reach into a side pouch, pull out some papers that have been rolled up, and each person currently present is going to get 3 of them for now. So he's giving everybody 3 scrolls of greater restoration.
Ooh, yay. Fun, fun, fun.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18.
And
Those would be what level?
base
Basi-
level, so I believe that's level. If I remember correctly, greater
It's-
restoration is 5.
Yeah.
I'm about to go check.
That leaves me with 289 of them left.
You said 3, right?
3 each for now.
Okay.
Just waiting on him to confirm the level.
It is 5th level.
Is it?
Mhm.
Okay. So 3 level 5.
Added.
And then he will take that bag off of his side and slip it into the bag of holding. So that way, in case it's needed to be, any of them are need to be grabbed, they can be grabbed individually out of the bag of holding via Deshani's bag, if she needs to.
Fenris, do you have a note of the scroll that Adraxon gave Balon last time? And what was it?
I don't know if you're getting your games confused because the one that I gave you, one of your characters last time, was I gave Dane a scroll.
Oh, yeah. That's
You've had a long day. We're not going to fault you for memory difference between several games that we're all part of.
Right.
well, you all ran into that in my game last time we played, so I
I'll
guess
be
it's
right
only
back.
fair. It's only fair that I run into it as well.
It's all good.
8 more minutes go by, and that sphere folds completely out into the carriage with its mono wheel.
All right. Everybody load up.
Baron will walk over and go ahead and touch his amulet to revolvers, since he was busy putting the carriage together when everybody else did.
Fair.
And Draxon will take this spot at the front, the carriage seat.
Lightfoot will take his spot up front as the main distraction.
And as you all filter in and Baron starts to walk and then jog and then run on the wheel, and this wondrous battle wagon files its way through this green shimmer. You don't feel what you felt going through the other doors. You don't feel that warmth come from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet and then recede again. You feel a wash of static, of pins and needles for but an instant. And then almost an electric jolt. And you push through. And our attention stays for a moment in this hall as As Revolver takes a deep breath, pulls the wall back down, he goes back to his seat and starts rubbing his chin. Good luck, all.
Feeling. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Good luck, all. And our perspective switches to those inside for a moment.
Biren, feeling this new, weird sensation, looks over at Dashani with saucer eyes.
It'll be okay.
And he
Revolver
starts,
hasn't done anything to hurt us before, right?
no. And he starts running again.
What is your top speed one more time?
In the carriage, we're moving 70.
Okay. So,
Because it's a third, right?
yep. Inside, this space is lit by a single chandelier behind the wheel, kind of illuminating everything but inside the running space for Biren. And as you start to take off, you feel the fact that there is no gap somehow that holds the space that is the internal cabin is effectively airtight as long as the doors are closed. And with that thought, we switch to up top with Lightfoot and Adraxon in the driver's seat. As the green shimmer fades from your vision, it is immediate that you spot the surroundings. There are stars in the sky, leaving holes in the darkness above. There is grass that is just flooding by at speeds even faster than a horse would carry you. It looks like just a large field. There are trees that are so far away, and yet look like they're only they are too tall to be only a couple miles away. You hear a screech, something that sounds like it should have been a bird, but too big. It carries too strangely, and it somehow sounds wet in the air. And this comes off from the right. The air itself feels thick. There is moisture that is just hanging in the air, and as you are in an open space at the top front of this wagon, and the speed is gaining, and you are moving at 70 feet every 6 seconds, more than 10 feet a second. You because of the density of the air, it feels like you are flowing through a very thin soup.
Draxon looks over to Lightfoot. Make sure you wear your mask. As he kind of just whisks away a little bit of the moisture off his visor. My whether it be either the cartographer's tools or the navigator tools, would I have a compass in one of those sets?
Yes.
If I pull it out, does it read?
High or low?
Let's go high.
It does. And you are heading due north already.
Perfect.
Give me a perception check as well.
Okay. Can I add my add for my potion to this?
It has. You haven't re-upped it since taking the long rest, so
Okay. I'll do that afterwards then.
Well, I was going to say, Fenris, I would assume you can probably hear Ari just kind of playing softly on his flute, and that since you can, at least Tormy, you'll have to make the final ruling on this.
We have a boombox in the fucking thing now.
Oh yeah,
you have multiverse radio.
If Danger Zone comes on the radio.
Highway to the danger zone.
Okay, what are we doing here?
That's giving you an inspiration, so that's a D8.
Okay, I'll use it.
So,
So
would technically
whoa,
stack the D8s because Lightfoot
fuck,
would technically be playing along.
fuck. Okay,
That didn't sound
Unfortunately,
good.
34. 34.
Oh, that's a
there are
happy-
3 things that you notice that are
Okay.
not. That is not the horrible distraction sitting next to you.
I'm kind of like, thank God for the visor blocking out part of it.
About 500 feet out ahead of you, a shape starts to form in your vision, much like when it is nighttime and you are encroaching on something and it kind of fills out as you get closer. There's something boxy that has fins on it that you are coming up on. The creature, that horrible squawk, that horrible screech that came from the right, you hear it echoing, and then you hear a fresh one, and it is closer. And the third thing that you see are 3 moons in a triangle formation tracing the sky from your left. They are matching speeds and are starting to take to the zenith in the sky.
Okay, taking note of the 2 sets of creatures, or what I assume, the bird thing, squawky thing is definitely some sort of creature. The boxy thing with fins may very well be, and we're heading directly towards that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He looks to Lightfoot. Do me a favor, get inside. And he pulls Wave's Edge off his back, extends it, and holds it out forward, and just, Biren, keep going.
Bunker mode. Biren releases a charge on his Ion Stone of Haste, and we start moving at 140.
In just 10 seconds, you have made enough progress to see that whatever it is that is in front of you, there's a sweeping fin, and there are two like lower fins that are off the back of this. It's coming off less boxy and more egg-shaped vertically, almost like a tube. You are catching sheen off of the moonlight that is reflecting down now.
Before I do anything that puts me in a stationary position, I am going to pop open the bracer or the back of the gauntlet on the on his right arm.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it'd be his left. Yeah, his left. And I'm gonna fire a dart into the top of the coach seat,
Okay.
just in case.
Fair.
And then go back to assuming the splatter ram position, and I will. If we are getting
the position.
if we are getting super close to this thing, I will activate bunker mode, like right as I figure we're gonna ram this thing.
You have time to
Sounds
steer
good.
around.
We have time to steer around it.
Yeah, you are moving at a very fast clip, but you are in the literal driver's seat.
Okay, then yeah, we'll work on steering around it. I've just got shit ready in case things go south side.
Lightfoot, you were speaking.
After scurrying inside, and I assume kind of closing the hatch, Lightfoot looks to the other passengers. Might want to brace for impact just in case. Coming on a big thing.
Next 8 seconds, you are just under 100 feet from this thing. It doesn't look like it would be. It doesn't look like a living thing. It looks metallic. It looks. There is. It looks like a stationary metal tube with fins on the side that are further up than the one on the top. The one on the top looks more like it would be a tail to this thing. The ones on the sides look like stabilizing wings for something that should be in the water or the air or something. It is about 25 feet wide at the sides, and it is about 35 feet tall, minus the fin.
I am going to steer the cart to go around it.
And as you make your way around it, it doesn't move. There is you've got dark vision. There is a burnt out patch of grass behind it. There is burnt space around it on the ground, and you see the absolute reflective surface of what looks to be a viewing port at the front of this item, of this thing.
We had time, I'd stop and look at it, but we don't have time at the moment. Keep pushing.
You pass by, and it doesn't move. You continue on at this ridiculous speed. It's a good thing you have your own atmosphere, because you can feel the pressure of air hitting you.
Mm-hmm.
You take a look off to the side, and way out there, over 1,000 feet, there's a bird that looks like it's only about the size of your hand in armor.
That's not normal. Things around here are much bigger than they appear. That reminds me of the other place we went to.
You look down, and the grass blades that are bending under your wagon, under your carriage, the grass blades themselves are almost half your height,
Mhm.
but look like they would be, in general scale, the same as a regular blade of grass in a field that should only go up to about your ankle or so.
Okay.
You're starting to get a feel for the scale of this place. You're starting to get an understanding as to when you started asking about going places that would ready you for this. Maybe that place, that valley of dire and giant creatures, was to ready you for the scale.
Yeah.
The night is flying by. Inside, the chandelier shakes back and forth, and while that is happening, the elephantine bard and the goat-like one are tag teaming, trying to figure out what song to put on the radio, not
I'm not
knowing the multiverse that's out there.
I'm not tag teaming anything. I am in full control of the radio. And if the goat man tries to stop me, I will literally just sit on him.
I was gonna say I like
heard
to
what he
imagine
plays,
the
and
banter
it's like,
back and
no.
forth is. I like to imagine the banter back and forth as Inari is like, no, we're gonna listen to some smooth jazz, but I want to listen to country.
What did you call him?
Not Inari, sorry. I'm bad with names. Ari. They sound very similar.
I was like, Inari is someone completely different that I don't even
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, no,
And
Inari is
she
Moto.
would kick your ass for saying that if she was here.
Right? And if Inari were here, there would be no banter back and forth. It'd be, I'm in control, you don't like it, here's a lightning bolt up your ass.
Inari's character will listen to rock.
But you are blaring through the night.
Well, for a minute. And then we go back to 70.
A minute goes by, the speed lurches back down to a manageable 70 feet every 6 seconds. It's just effectively the same pace as a horse race. But that reaching, the creature is turning to try and not necessarily match speed, but aim to meet.
When I clock that,
Yep.
I look back at, or clocking that, I look down in the hatch. We got a big one airborne. Looks like it's trying to intersect with our path. Just hold on in case shit gets hairy.
I'm gonna ready an action if at all possible. The
Oh.
moment that this bird gets, hold on, check something right quick. Do 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 do. Do. Within 60 feet, Lightfoot lets. Again, I'm bad with names.
He lets out a fart.
No, he does not let out a fart. He lets the driver know when the creature gets within 60 feet to let him know because he's prepared a spooky song.
There are arrow slits that you can look out on either side.
Oh, okay.
They're about 2 inches tall, 8 inches wide. There is a glass between you and the outside, but you can see through it.
Well, when it gets close to being the 60 feet mark, he would kind of pop his head out of the hatch with his lute. Seeing as how he's wearing the mask, he can't really doot his flute.
Does Biren see something flying at the carriage?
Biren is simultaneously, sadly, and thankfully unable to see anything because the only openings that he can see out of reliably are the doors. He is in a smaller wheel inside a larger wheel. The only way up is a small hatch that is kind of tight, or the arrow slit windows that you can shutter.
Lost Jeb again.
Someone might want to move Jeb.
Is the creature
Got him.
further out than 60 feet?
It is still several hundred feet out. It was at a couple thousand. It looked like a full hand to a Draxon.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
you know,
guys,
something like the size of an owl at several thousand feet away.
Okay, guy's gonna equip his goggles, which allow him to see further out. So that way,
Okay.
when it does get closer, he has a better idea of what it is.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Also, just so you are aware, Guy, because I did give the bardic inspiration to a Draxon, you would have one as well due to my true inspiration feat. So you would get a D8 roll as well if you decide to use it.
Ooh, how do I add that on?
Just roll it separately.
Oh, okay. You said a perception?
Yep.
24.
Is that including the D8?
No, the D8 is so 27 total.
Okay.
Is there an owlbear for this encounter, Tormy?
There is not. There's just the this moment is just going to be
Theater of mind.
yeah. Once we get to the caves, I might whip some things together, but I think as for tonight, it's not going to be that. Um,
I dropped off.
27 at several thousand feet, you look out and there's a difference between hunting game that you are comfortable with and hunting game that is in a way a primordial fear that stemmed with most people. Most people, when you look at something that is more than 3 times larger than you, kind of feel, at the very least, not safe. You've hunted things that are larger than you in that very aspect, and that's that's big. But I feel comfortable with backup taking that down. It's only 20 feet tall. We got this.
Only.
You're looking at this, and judging on how far it is, how big it must be at that scale, you have fought things that were called rocks, that flew in the sky and cast shadows that would put an entire pasture in darkness. This leaves that behind. There is a wingspan of 500 feet. In the sky before you, in the dark. It is tracking. There is something about its... There's something about the way that it is calling out. There's something about... There are too many legs. There are 4 legs. There's still only 2 wings. And it sounds like it's been choking on something. It's putting out a call that sounds like it is hunting, like any bird of prey, but it is such a thick, wet, bogged down screech. It is difficult to place what's wrong. That's what you get as it's closing the distance, and you are putting your hunting knowledge to it. You don't know exactly what it is. You do know it's wrong.
Would
Guys.
Ari be able to see this thing too?
You can go to one of the slits or you can go to the door and open it. You've got choices.
Does
I-
anyone
either-
mention this out loud inside
Huh?
the carriage? The size of the creature.
I was just gonna say, guy's gonna turn around and explain what he sees and claim that it's a great night to die.
We are now moving at 420 feet every 6 seconds for a minute.
We see something blurry in the sky.
Anyways, okay, so upon hearing the description, would I be able to roll a history check to see if any of the books I've read since being in the gateway would have any knowledge about what this thing might be?
You can go ahead and do that. You can also, once you're done with that, please roll me a d100.
Adraxan is taking a
That is math, not computing. 14 plus 8 is 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22.
Okay. And the d100 roll.
That's what I'm getting you right now. That would be. If I can, not let them fall off my desk. That'd be an 83.
Okay.
and Adrexin is taking 3 charges of his vial.
I will be right back with the description.
Okay.
I just need to run off screen for a second.
Guy's gonna sit down and start sharpening his axes.
$420 every 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Life seems rather calm, even after hearing the description of the creature that's coming his way. That's coming their way.
If I wasn't in the cart, if I wasn't powering the cart, I would be moving at 1,260 feet every 6
Damn.
seconds.
I was gonna say, where you're at powering the cart, can you hear the description?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an open hamster wheel kind of
Oh,
design.
damn.
I am back.
That's why we're now moving at 420 feet per 6 seconds, because he heard that, damn near shit himself, and said, nope.
And used his boots and another ion stone. So 420 for a minute, and then it goes down to 210 for another 9 minutes.
So Ari,
Yo.
you have heard of a few birds that have had or that have 4 legs. You've heard of several that were immense to the point that rocks seemed small. This place seems like everything is larger. So some dire variant. But
Okay. Lovely. I will.
the term that you have heard it or that you read it out, it was in Primordial.
Okay.
It had called this a colossal sky terror. They have 4 legs. They have an immense wingspan. They are normally day hunters, but if they are hunting at night, they have a slight sense of echolocation from a distance. It is very muddy, but it works the same.
Ari is going to relay all of this knowledge that he has of this thing to everyone else.
You have 2 other pieces of knowledge.
Okay.
One, they are more likely, once they hit the ground, to stay on the ground until they need to take flight again than they are to leave the ground without any like resting time.
Wait, would you repeat that?
They are more, if they touch down, they are likely to take time staying on the ground because of how much
Gotcha.
because of how much they weigh and how much it takes to get them airborne again.
Gotcha.
And 2, it is just as dangerous behind them as it is in front.
Where is Dust when we need him?
In a galaxy far, far away.
But not that long time ago.
I don't know. On that part, that could be the case.
Right.
But Yes, that's what you get.
Okay. Like I said, he relays all of this knowledge to everyone and puts special emphasis on careful whatever side you stand on, it's still just as dangerous.
Because of how fast we're moving, I'm actually going to retract the blade,
Okay.
not keep it extended, and I will go into bunker mode on because I'm not moving, so it doesn't really freaking matter.
Right.
Fair.
Um. So, and that magical bonus gives me a plus 18.
Those of you who have had a heavy sight on what's going on, it's had to recorrect several times because of the speed you're moving. It doesn't seem to be gaining any speed or anything on you. In fact, it seems to be falling behind a little bit, but it is still airborne, and it doesn't look like it's really descending too much.
Does
As the fifth minute rolls by, the creature is back to being the size of a normal hand in the distance, according to your current perspective. Another 2 minutes go by, and you're down to 3 fingers worth of very large bird.
what is echolocation? What does that mean? Baron is asking Ari this
Oh,
since he's the one that mentioned it.
oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were asking over the table. My bad. Ari just looks and says, "Well, in simplest terms, it is, for example, me shouting at something and then determining that thing's position based on how quickly the sound comes back to me."
Would one of my flashbang arrows help?
More than likely to disorient.
Isn't this thing out of the way though?
Ari
Isn't
just
this
kind of
what?
shrugs.
Keep that pace up. We're doing pretty good.
We only got a couple more minutes.
That's fine.
At 9 minutes, where you are 1 minute away, it is at 2 fingers in size, and it doesn't seem to have given up just yet, but it doesn't seem to have readjusted recently.
Is there any sign of the mountains ahead of us?
There's no breeze ahead of you. There is a slope that darkens the sky, almost due north. It's just as you are heading there, it looks like a steady slope and then a heavy slope. Because at this distance, the mountains are just going to be a black thing in the night.
Right. Okay.
How far away is the creature?
After 2,000 feet, it is a little difficult for you to tell. Without proper equipment. But at a little just under 2,000 feet, it was the size of your hand.
But it's definitely getting smaller.
Yes. As Biren's as the boots run out, and you descend back to a normal, your normal speed, and breathing becomes harder. It is down to 2 fingers, and it looks like it is. It looks like it's on course for something behind you, or it can't hear you from that far away.
And take my level of exhaustion. I'm sorry. 500-foot wingspan? Fuck this. I'm out. I'll take that level of exhaustion.
Right.
Will the
Fair.
would the wheel of the cart be considered, like, making it go be considered difficult terrain?
What do you mean?
I'm just curious to see if the syringes that I have would do it Beer any good.
The card itself doesn't treat or pretty much any terrain that it can work on as difficult terrain.
I
If you're
was
talking
meaning,
about the wheel itself inside the bigger wheel,
yes.
not really. It's
Okay.
kind of like running track and field on a straight line.
Okay. I was just curious because
That's fair.
if it would help him boost the speed, that would be fantastic. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the fact that it is 1/3 is because of the weight of the object it's being propelled. That's it.
Fair enough.
And like, by all technicality, I could have made it much, much worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you've successfully dodged a very large stationary silver thing and something that has a 500-foot wingspan. You personally see it start to turn back the other way.
Looks like it's given up, guys.
The mountain is beginning to loom as the moons are starting to get closer to the center of the sky overhead.
I'm gonna keep my head on a swivel. I'm looking for any other possible shadows in the sky, on the ground. Anything that we might be coming up on.
Um, you have you continue going and going and going. The grass is being crushed underneath. You see a stone off to the side that you just barely catches your attention as you are zooming by. You get to you feel like you've traveled probably 6 or so miles by the time you start seeing other movement again. It's not fast movement. It's shambling. There's a sea of movement off to the left. It's moving the opposite direction that you are. It is
Hmm.
moving through the grass in the opposite direction. It is not one thing. It is, well, the term that you would use is a horde.
Okay.
Far away.
About 300 feet off to the left of the cart.
We could take care of that real quick if you wanted to stop.
And it's gone now, isn't it?
I don't think stopping and taking a 300-foot detour is going to do us any good.
Oh,
We don't have to go 300 feet.
The moonlight that is being cast down. Those of you who are taking to looking because it's been brought to your attention, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Over the table thinners, oil slick ballista bolt, fire arrow.
Ari's at a 21.
Okay. What are we doing?
Perception check if you would like.
Yeah, I would. Um,
This is for distance and numbers.
28.
I'm glad y'all are getting some good rolls because Lightfoot rolled an 8.
Still have the bonus from the effect
Well,
from before.
that's your 8 is better than what Balon rolled.
Beats that only works on one roll, unless he
Okay,
gives
thank
it to you again.
I got a 10.
I got a natural 2 for a total of 6.
Those of you below 15, you can
uh,
see the movement. Those of you below 20 can see that the closest of them are about 300 feet away. Those of you above 20, you lose count because of the movement. But you lose count somewhere in the 4, 5, maybe 6 dozen medium-sized creatures that are moving in the opposite direction at a rather slow pace. In grass that comes up to their waist or in some cases their shoulder.
That's a lot of creatures.
And that's where we're going to let our attention pull away. That moment where you take notice of how much is happening all in one space, not far away at all, even though you are moving at a pace that can easily outpace all of them.
is Ari
We're-
saying that in game?
Say what?
Is Ari saying that in game?
Oh, a lot of creatures. Yes. That
Yeah.
is-
That'll
as
probably
he,
be.
as he's watching, looking, and everything, he's like, "That's a lot of creatures."
That's gonna be what spurs Deshani to check the window.
Got it.
Tashani can still feel our emotions, right?
Yep. That's why she's been kind of just sitting.
Yeah. Hearing that, Baron is freaking out, but you can tell it's like an internal struggle to not take off again because he knows he needs to save some and doesn't want to be completely exhausted. And
Um.
Guy's gonna be slightly more excited than everybody else because for him, this is what he lives for.
Depending on exactly what this is, Balon might have an interest as well.
Zombies.
Happy to be part of the adventure.
Is Dashani giving me a roll, or was that
I'll do the perception too. Mhm.
'cause I'm about to give us a wonderful little cinematic moment.
My dice is stuck. Hold on. And it flew away. Oh, I nat 20. Yeah.
Yay!
What is
Yeah.
the total?
23.
Our attention is going to slide from behind where Dashani's head is, looking through that porthole. And our attention is going to swing outside of the carriage. It's going to quickly speed across the 300 feet, and we are going to see the shallow, shambling movements of a disturbingly jerky, shambling horde of over 200 moving south. And as our attention sweeps over this horde, I'm going to pull back up through the night sky into that darkness, leaving the horror fantasy behind as we pull back into reality. I hope everybody at home enjoyed. I am fairly certain that my players did, and if they didn't, I'm expecting them to tell me after. With that, please come tell some stories with us, or let us know that you enjoy the stories we tell. We're happy to bring something creative, something new, and something different to all of your lives. Please come enjoy more. Come tell another story. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.
Night.